Hundreds of people singing the national anthem in the northern French city of Hénin-Beaumont. On stage is Steve Briouat, the mayor since 2014 and the vice president of the National Rally, France's main far-right party, formerly called the National Front. Municipal elections are a week away, and this close ally of Marine Le Pen is running for re-election. Six years ago, half of the voters in the city of 26,000 people voted for Steve Briouat in the first round of the local elections. We're here to understand how the governance of Hénin-Beaumont illustrates the party's vision for France and why the people in this part of the country embrace the national rally.
He does lots of good things. He even comes to our houses. If we call him about problems in the neighbourhood or whatever else, he comes. He visits everyone, does great things. Honestly, we're really happy with him.
It's not just National Rally supporters who are happy with their mayor. Even citizens like Arnaud, a 40-year-old nurse who dislikes the party's nationalism, say the city is run efficiently.
I think they do good stuff, socially, for the community, things for children and for housing, even though it's not a party I agree with at all.
France is just days away from the coronavirus lockdown. The government has decided to maintain the municipal elections. The main challenger is Marine Tondelier, a Green member of the city council who leads a broad-based coalition to topple the national rally.
It's hard to predict what's going to happen, especially with the coronavirus and all that. The campaign's quite shaken up.
Tondelier faces an uphill battle. Steve Briouat is seen as an approachable mayor, close to the people. And at 47, he has already accumulated more than 30 years of grassroots activism in Hénin-Beaumont.
Nous sommes en permanence.
We're always on the ground, all the time. We don't just listen to voters 2 months before the election, and that kind of work pays off one day or another.
Another factor explains the National Rally's appeal. Hénin-Beaumont lies at the heart of the French coal region. For centuries, the mines shaped the local identity, providing jobs but also a sense of community. It was the bastion of the left. Then, one by one, the mines closed. The other industries like steel or textile also came crashing down a couple of decades later. David, a communist councilman and history teacher, witnessed the transformation of Hénin-Beaumont.
First of all, there was the closure of lots of big factories in 2008 and 2009, so lots of workers found themselves unemployed. And they found refuge in abstention and the protest vote, a vote in anger.
The anger in this town is still fueled by a 20% unemployment rate and 1 resident out of 4 living below the poverty line. Adding to this is a massive political scandal in 2009 involving the former socialist mayor who was arrested for corruption and embezzlement. Revolted, voters eventually turned towards what seemed like the best alternative. Jean Robert, a retired factory worker and National Rally militant, is an embodiment of this radical transition.
So this is my grandfather, Voltaire Ravet. He was in the resistance, deported. He was anti-fascist. Here's his son, my father, who used to be a soldier and a miner. And here are the medals they received for their acts of resistance. I signed up for the National Front because I was repeatedly betrayed by people on the left, supposedly pro-worker. And then you see them on TV being put on trial for money here, money there. You quickly get the idea that they're not in it for the workers. They're in it for themselves, that's it. The city was dead. There was nothing left in Hénin. Now it's alive again.
Not everybody here is pleased with the National Rally. Some condemn the policies that were enacted against migrants, Roma communities, and human rights organizations. But the most frequent criticism relates to the climate of fear, intimidation, and bullying that looms over anyone who doesn't fall in line with the far-right party. Journalists, political opponents, activists, regular citizens, and even public workers. One of them agrees to be interviewed on the condition that we keep his identity secret.
The National Rally set up a management of fear. It's really a management style based on fear. Every day there are threats, intimidation, bullying, orders and counter-orders. From the moment they decide you're not with them, you're finished. That's it.
Several media reports seem to confirm these allegations and indicate high levels of sick leave among the city's staff. The mayor denies any wrongdoing.
Écoutez, c'est de la dinguerie. Ça marche pas comme ça, Hénin-Beaumont. Ça, c'est la...
Listen, this is crazy. It doesn't work like that in Hénin-Beaumont. That's the militant Bolshevik version from the Libération newsroom, helping out my political opponents. But the reality is that 90% of the staff at the municipality are happy with us.
À la mairie se sentent très bien avec nous. Et d'ailleurs...
How do you know?
Because we see them every day, monsieur.
As the elections draw closer, the opposition ramps up its campaign, going door to door and hanging the last posters. For their front-runner, Marine Tondelier, the objective is not just to win the election, it's to counter the narrative of the national rally.
This is their showcase. They want to show that this is the undemonized National Front, that they're kind, that everything's going well. The reality is that their natural tendencies come back very quickly. If you are with them, there is no problem. But if you're not with them, then they think you're against them and you pay a heavy price. And that's not okay. A mayor has to work for all the population.
Election day. Across France, the coronavirus triggered even more abstention than usual. In Hénin-Beaumont, only 44% of the voters went to the polls. But the results are undeniable. With 74.2% of the votes, Steve Briouat wins by a landslide. The national rally's success in Hénin-Beaumont is a subject of intense scrutiny in France. As the country grapples with economic inequalities and anger against mainstream politicians, the party of Marine Le Pen continues to portray this town as a model of governance that must be extended nationwide. For the other parties, here and in the rest of France, the challenge remains how to expose what they see as the far-right's weaknesses while offering a credible alternative likely to strike a chord with disillusioned voters.